because of the IPR issue. So the paper estimate that what this will be the amount of money or amount of economic activity that we will forgo if we do not join the TPP. Because I estimated using a computable general equilibrium model, and he was able to estimate what will be the rise in output, the GDP size, as well as in the gains. So these are the different factors: fisheries, manufacturing, construction, electricity type. It's all positive in billions of pesos. Okay, and also for gains in trade. The numbers are there. So, in effect, he is saying that aside from being an RCP, we should also join the TPP and enjoy the following benefits. So the numbers are there. I have to briefly mention about the article in Business World today about proprietary protection APIC and the APIC economies. And these are the result. No? Among the APEC countries, 21 APEC countries that was not included here are Papua New Guinea and Brunei. They were not included in the IPRI. So it was partly already mentioned by Lorenzo and Sari. That's the result. Anyway, there's a big gap between Singapore and low-rank Vietnam. Singapore and Malaysia managed to retain the high scores, and the Philippines jumped from 77 in 2013 to 65 in 2015, even if the score is the same. Why? Because other countries have their scores declined. So if the score is the same, but your ranking has increased by about 20 points, 20 notches. So the lesson here is that if the Philippines or other countries like Thailand and Indonesia would already accept and would join the TPP, these are the benefits. The exports are expected to rise by 48%. The GDP will rise by 61%. And all households in general will enjoy greater higher income and employment opportunities. Lesson number 2. There is a positive relationship between protection of physical property and economic freedom. And the cases are the case of New Zealand, Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Malaysia, which are in the high degree of high global ranks. Now here the use what? IPR and TPP equal expensive medicines, poor health. How true? So this morning I googled you Google TPP and health. Something like for every 20 pages, the neutral article is either 0 or 1. The neutral may be around 2. The negative about 17 to 18 out of 20 articles. Sometimes you have a neutral title. Most have the title itself is really negative. IPR means expensive medicine. It's bad. It's ugly. Like that. Some have outright negative title. The others have neutral title. But when you read the body, it's negative. Okay. So that's how ugly or what, unsightly the image of. So I cite only examples here from different sources. How true is this statement or these headlines? I copy-pasted the text itself from the TPP or the intellectual property. Section 1, General Provisions, 18.6, Understanding regarding public health. At the start, the flexibilities in TRIPS has been sustained by the TPP. Practically nothing was removed, like especially in TRIPS flexibilities. And I'm talking about compulsory licensing, you're referring here, CL or special CL, and parallel importation, international exhaustion of rights. Next. Patent cooperation work sharing. It's very explicit that there should be more, in effect, there should be more patent cooperation, not exclusion. The previous speaker talked about the cooperation. You have to divulge everything, okay? And unlike before, the result of clinical trials you have to hide. Now you will be forced to open it up. And again, only those with inventive steps, so the so-called frivolous invention will not be given a patent. And third, health methods, biological process, and animals cannot be invented So if there are people who say that with the TPP, with the IPR, they can even patent plants, the leaves of a plant, or even animals, so you can patent, say, a Labrador dog, etc. Those are wrong. Okay. Next, subsection C, particular to pharmaceutical. The key there is because there was, you can no longer extend the regulatory exclusivity 5 years. There was some effort to make it 8 years, no? Or 7 years, even 10 years, but they were stuck with 5 years. So the proposal now is to reduce the regulatory approval because the granting of patent is when you submit the name of the molecule. So it will normally, when you say about 4 different types of clinical trials, it will take 10 to 12 years of the 12 to 20 years. So you only leave with about 8 to 10 years commercial period to make to market the product. So reduce the approval from 10 to 12 maybe down to maybe 5 or 10 years or 8 years, I don't know. And the biologics, so at least 8 years effective patent life is more or less assured. Okay. Concluding notes. So joining the TPP is a good thing. It's not scary agreement. Okay. Second, the IPR health provision in TPP are not that scary. They do not reduce access to cheaper medicines. The existing TRIPS flexibilities are maintained. But it seems the generic pharma lobby plus the lobby by the anti-capitalism, anti-globalization groups are creating more noise than necessary. So there's more to fear for government taxation and medicines and mandatory discounts rather than the IPR aspect of the TPP, because in the Philippines we have senior citizens are given 20% discount. So even the richest people in the Philippines get 20% discount. So what the seller do is that they make money here, they have to raise the price because there are a lot of discounts coming here in order to compensate. So mandatory discount means cheaper, more expensive product, including medicines. So many people do not realize that kind of government intervention is even more dangerous to public health than the IPR provision. Thank you.
Right. Can I just quickly invite Nonoy again, Sari, and Ibrahim to the stage. Let's do the Q&A. I mean, we can switch off the PowerPoint. Please, Sari. Nonoy. Yeah, with Ibrahim. Yeah. Right. Then let's just go straight to the question and answers. Nono actually brought up quite a few issues just now. You know, and Nono actually brought up quite a few issues just now around how there's a strong lobby that actually stems from anti-globalization movement, not specifically on TPP, and they seem to have made up their mind even before the TPP text is released. And you know, the tone is very much the same, and you know, nitpicking on one or two lines in a 6,000-page document and say that the whole document is bad. So you know, there is this idea that that perfection is actually the enemy of the good. You know, unless you have a perfect document, anything that's good must be rejected. So that's this notion. So let's just kick off the Q&A with that, you know, sentiment in mind as well. Is there any questions? Encik Syahri biasanya mesti ada. Yes. Can we just last speak?
Okay.
I think we can hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Satul. I got few. First of all, Mr. Ganesh, you are never our devil, because the mere fact that you go down to work the poor, I think that we will support you. What we don't like is when market forces come in. Somebody says you, let me license and check out the price. That is our fear. You are never our evil. Please, I correct. Okay. My question is that You got a study index, right? Property intellectual index. I just want to find out. You have put a few criteria, let's say religions, other kind. So I want to know these rights. Where does it stop when it meets the health rights, the social right, the cultural right, the religious right? Where does it stop? Does an intellectual property overrides social rights? Does intellectual property overrides religious right? Because when you talk about human right, it comprises of all. So we are afraid is that those rights being commercialized is what business people do and make maximum profits, and a lot of people will not have access, will be deprived of whatever God gives. That's my first question. Second question is that just not one says that no, there won't be no extended time. If it's no extended time, why stipulate? No, we have checked, no extended time. But again, it's stipulate. That means the probability of an extension of time will be there. This is the one that makes us fear. At the same time, this data. I give you an example. Today we are sinking with not enough data on products in the market. I give an example, the latest one, on the weight, the solution weight. First they put there nicotine level, something like that. Then there's something like that, then no labeling at all. Who takes action? Actually, labeling of prehal is under domestic trade. They do nothing about it. So how are we going to say product in the market is the duty of the government to see that our health and safety in place? That's what we are here. We are not against the trade, the people doing business. We are free support. You put say increase, we support. But what are those measures? I give you one example. I also work with Dr. Molly on tobacco. We asked for tobacco legislation to look, but tobacco is a product that is regulated, it's no good for mankind. But until today, almost 12, 15 years, it's not in place. Bear in mind, if it's signed, I have to get the tobacco company together and say, I'm making a law that regulates you. You think you'll agree? Because it says they require that, they say that if you do that, you must get them together to talk about it. Regulatory clearance. I don't have to tell about it, they know better. But you talk to the negotiator, say, that is not my part, I'm only IP. That is another, but the whole treaty interlink each one another. This is what that we are now objecting it. They got to look it in total, because when the product comes in the market, one product goes patent, all those will be on me alone. Whereas the negotiator is individual chapter, it doesn't look as in total. That is my thank you.
Okay, can you just quickly introduce yourself to this?
I'm Syahri from Persatuan Suran Islam. I'm waiting for you to study the Islam values, the rights in Islam. Persatuan next year, isn't it?
I will translate. Persatuan apa tadi?
Persatuan Suran Islam. Muslim Missionary Society. Alright? Don't worry, I can translate.
But the other one is also with the Malaysian Council for Tobacco Control.
Yes, that one I'm just a council member.
Okay. Right. So how do you want to do this? You want to answer first? Can I just take another question if there is any? Yeah, maybe we have one or two, please. Yes.
Alright, within the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, my name is Sumi. I work in a small non-profit called Sina Project.
Sina Project.
Yes, I'm also a long-term open source software supporter. One of the concerns within the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement within the intellectual property is the ability to patent any technological invention. The question here is, does it involve software? If it is, then I want to warn that the United States have a very bad software situation involving non-practicing entity. I would raise my concern about the impact of these guys suing around the world within the treaty and the impact of the local software industry. Thank you.
Just as a background, if you're not familiar with Sina Project is a brilliant initiative. We are one of the partners. We're very friendly with Sina Project. What they do is they gather data from various different sources. Things like parliamentary Hansard, speeches of parliamentarians. They go through the company records, produced by registrar of companies. They go to annual report of companies, GLCs and so on. And they are trying to produce a platform where people can then go to one platform, type in a name, and all the important background, director of this company, director of that company, has given this speech, has said this in parliament. All this can be disclosed so that there's more transparency. So we've been working with Sinar Project for quite a while, so I can understand the concern about IT, especially about softwares, because they work on open source platform. So let's try to answer those 3 or maybe 4 questions just now.
Well, say, I will definitely not answer on the index, right? I'll leave it to the experts. I think we have 4 questions on the ETP chapter. Not extended, but then why stipulate? It's an agreement, right? The reality is that in any negotiations or to come up with an agreement, there's an offer and request process.
That's wrong.
Hold on. This give you a chance to talk. Part of this process is that we give you a chance to talk, and you should give us the opportunity to answer that. There are things that perhaps some countries do not like, right? But the question is that, is it manageable? And rejecting totally 100%, although it is manageable, is basically sending a message to our trading partner that we do not want to talk to them. And what if the same approach is being taken by our trading partner? For example, on areas where we have export interests, textile, for example, palm oil, for example. Do you want them to come to the table, negotiating table, and tell our side, the government, say, we don't want to talk about it? So we have to talk about it. That's the negotiation process, offer and request process. And we cannot reject outright because we have to analyze carefully in an objective manner. And the proposal, when we analyze it, we check the negotiating history of a trading partner, bilateral trading partner, which have similar obligations at the extension, which we were referring. I've mentioned the case of Australia and Singapore. They face the experience of implementing same obligations for the past 10 years, and not a single patent has been extended. What kind of what more certainty can we provide? Admittedly, these are the kind of obligations that many countries would not prefer to make it stipulated in the contract, in the agreement, but it's an obligations that they can manage. Rejecting outright will send a message to our partner that we want to talk, and the question will be, what will happen if they take the same approach on to our side where we have export interests? Will we do justice to them? I don't think so, and we will not land anywhere. We will not land anywhere if we don't talk about it. It is stipulated, yes, I admit it is stipulated, but it's manageable. Based on our past track record, based on other countries' past track record as well. There's enough safeguard when we negotiate that. We factored in things that are not within the control of the IP office of Malaysia. That should not be factored in. So just imagine a start-stop clockwork system that will be implemented by the IP office to calculate. So, for example, if the IP holder try to abuse or try to game the patent term extension system and delaying the applications, try to delaying the communications when they submit patent application, that will not be calculated in. So it does matter to have that kind of certainty to both sides, to the patent holder, and also assuring to the public that based on past track record, we can manage those process in a way that it will be optics, it will be academics. The patent, the likelihood of a patent being extended will be very, very, very low. Just talking about labeling. You're talking about labeling, right? For example, vape. I think everyone knows vape is some sort of a gray.
What gray?
Hold on. Some sort of there's a gray areas in the way we regulate vape, right? If you have nicotines in the content, then it will falls under Ministry of Health. If it's not, then it will not be under Ministry of Health. If it's different kind of flavors, it will falls under Ministry of Agriculture. So those are the things that now, because it involves interagencies, you need a cabinet, right? To basically the process is that you need to have those multi-agencies to sit down together and put a cold towel at their head and brainstorm this, right? Who have the legal jurisdiction? No, this is democratic process that we have to face. Because now when involved nicotine, I'm talking about the rule of law here. When we talk about if the content has nicotine for vape, then it will fall under Ministry of Health. If it's not, then it will be maybe under domestic trade. If it's
no label, what do you take? Doesn't the ministry? But they don't have no label.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
but because the law does not exist yet, so they need
It's
to
a
do
gray
it.
area in the sense that
It's already there.
if it involves nicotine, yes, it's there.
No.
Labeling is a requirement under pre-health.
Correct.
Pregnant.
But on all, there is exceptions to
No.
that.
No.
We can
Please, not on the way. Go check.
not for vape.
Yeah.
Is there vape
Any item
specifically?
put for sale.
Correct, but there is
Yeah.
exceptions to that.
No.
Any product.
Yeah, this is going to be a never-ending story.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's the
He
thing.
let's put it this way.
He doesn't know.
Okay, let's just take it this way. You know more than what the government
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't know.
let's just accept it and
Yeah.
No,
No,
Yeah, he doesn't know.
the thing is,
Just
the
say
He
you
doesn't
don't
know.
lah.
You
Just
don't
say
know.
you don't
the thing is, first you say this is about vape, right?
Yeah.
I'm sharing about vape, and that's the situation
Labeling.
right now. Look,
They're talking about
Please.
Labeling.
yeah, this
yes,
is
you
going
talk about
not going to
labeling
end.
vape.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
When
just say you don't know lah.
Look, he's trying to explain, and you do not take the answer.
It's not
So
true.
we will never
never
be
mind.
able to come to
Leave it,
conclusion.
leave it.
So
Leave it.
why don't we allow
Yeah.
Cik Burhan to answer? Whether you agree or
And-
not, we will discuss later
Yeah.
on.
No, he doesn't
And-
listen to the rest.
Okay, carry on.
I think this is not helpful. We give you opportunity to ask. Please, when
Okay, carry on.
we appreciate the same kind of treatment when we give you.
You must be true lah.
No interruption when you ask, and same treatment that
I swear
we
to
are trying to
God,
explain
nothing
right
but the
now.
truth.
So this is part of the democratic process
Okay.
we would like to establish here, right?
Okay.
About why the negotiator says, hey, we have to look on regulatory coherence chapter. We can only talk about IP because I don't have the locus standi, for example, to talk about regulatory coherence. But hold on, doesn't mean that we do not know what is going on there. Of course, regulatory coherence set that process of you have to consult, for example, in the case that you said, we have to consult the industries, right? Have to consult with that. But who will be the more competent people to talk to or to ask about these issues than the lead negotiators for regulatory coherence themselves, rather than criticize that just because he's leading IP, he doesn't have the capacity to talk about it. It's not. It's just that I'm representing overseas trade. That's my task. The instruction for the government is to lead IP chapter. But and because of that capacity, I have to answer questions on that, right? And these are the platforms that was established to talk about IP. And if you have questions about regulatory coherence, the email was created and has been now published in MITI. It's one email where it groups in all the lead negotiators. Drop an email, government will be transparent and answer that publicly. So, and I just think it's not helpful in the sense that you go and ask different issues to different kind of negotiators, because I think the best process to more transparent process is to ask the lead negotiators themselves. Right? But it doesn't mean that we are not aware, we are aware, but we don't have the capacity and the expertise to answer on those particular issues because we are not leading negotiations. And these are the same arrangement by all 12 countries as well. You won't go ask IP lead negotiators of US about issues on government procurement, for example. It's just not within their capacity. Right? And it's just mix up the whole process. There's a question. Oh yeah, open source software, no. The answer is no. It's not patentable.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Yes, it should be fine. Okay.
And then the question about does IP override social and religious rights as well?
Well, I was thinking about your question while he was answering. I'm sorry I couldn't pay attention a lot. But I was thinking of what you said, and absolutely we can say that human rights, it's in some sense Eurocentric, Western culture result, and I can accept it, absolutely. And when we use the information creating the index, we use two kinds of information. One is quantitative, and there is another part of the index that is composed by qualitative data. They were explained. And there are elements that are qualitative, and those qualitative elements are answered by people of their own country. So those who answer are evaluating by their own perspective what we are looking at. You were talking about Islam, like an example, comparing to human rights, and I would accept that there is a different perspective of looking, for example, to gender or many other things maybe in different cultures, and I accept that, absolutely. We are not talking about those issues while calculating the index. What we used to have are some particular study cases, like this one, it's with Christianity, and we're looking next year to have an analysis with Islam. This is not part of the index itself, but is trying to mix this index with cultural traditions. And we are looking to some hints that can help us, or at least to show some elements. In every culture, there are a lot of things positive. I'm a person that thinks that everything is positive in a culture, not some things, everything. But some of them goes through a way and another goes through another way. And we have to respect, in these times of globalization, when everything seems to be like more uniform, I think that they have helped to diversity to express itself. So I think that the complexity of the word cannot be unified in an index, but it's a measure that can help us. For example, like a policy tool. If sometimes I say that, for example, in countries like mine, I'm coming from Venezuela, we have seen a lot of lack of information during the last 15 years. And for example, we don't have official data nowadays, because we have a lot of problems, on inflation. So we are using all different kind of indices to analyze the evolution of prices. And sometimes I say they have different baskets. Yes, but at least if you don't like the basket, you can use the change of the price of the basket. And maybe you don't look itself to the basket, but the evolution of the price. The same thing with this. Maybe you don't like and you think that it's not complete. Any index in the world is complete itself. But you can look at the evolution, the comparison of different countries, how they behave. What can you do with the index to use it like a policy tool? And to see if it's useful, and that's we hope it could be, and you can use it for those goals that you, like a country and like a society, feel that they are important for yourself. And that's the main issue of an index like this.
Good, thank you. Is there any more questions, please?
Thank you. I just wanted to ask two questions. First one is to Prof. Sari. I noticed that in the IPR plus gender equality perspective just now. You put down FGM, female genital mutilation, as one of the plus with regards to measuring the gender equality aspect of IPRI, right? I would like to just get